All right, folks, in this episode, we're going to share with you easy to plan summer travels with kids. And the keyword today, Megan, is easy to plan. Mm-hmm. We're going to take out all the things that you could be doing and just focusing on what you and your family can do that is just plug and play.
Yeah.
That we're just going to go there and it's kind of already done. The itinerary is kind of already made. And these are just like built-in vacations to what you can do this summer. We're talking beach vacations, cruises, amusement parks, national parks, and our favorite, road trips. So parents, welcome to Did You Pack Snacks? Howdy folks, my name is Colin.
And I'm Meg.
Welcome to, I said welcome a lot. This is Did You Pack Snacks, a family travel podcast where we chat all things high, all things low, all the long miles in between of traveling with kids. We are parents ourselves, so we know the drill. And guess what? Tomorrow, we are embarking on a trip to California. And what are we doing the night before? Recording a podcast.
Which I will say that we kind of lied last week because we said that this podcast would either be us in South Carolina with really sick kids because we weren't sure if sickness was going to like ramp up or ramp down.
It ramped down.
But instead of recording a podcast in California, we just want to not bring all this stuff.
Oh, no, we are still doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't want to edit a podcast while I'm on the trip.
Okay, so this is just a buffer episode, but we are going. Yeah. And then, no, it's not
you chose the wrong word. It's not a buffer, it's a buffet. Okay. It's a buffet of helpful information.
Right, but I'm just saying we said we're either going to be recording from California or recording homesick, but this is neither of those.
No, this is a hybrid.
We're recording at home before we go so that we have more content to share, and then we'll do live from California next week.
Because we are just oozing with inspo for you guys and oozing of love for our listeners.
Yeah.
And speaking of listeners, Megan. You shared with me something today that I thought was the sweetest. Yeah. And I think we should give them a shout out.
Okay.
And we should also play it because it's so sweet.
Okay, so this is from my friend Gabby, and she sent me a little message. It's really short and quick, but we wanted to share it.
Hello, Mookri fam. This is the Lawrence. Hi. And we just wanted to tell you that we love doing High-Low Buffalo. We do it all the time, and it is a new part of our life because you taught us that on your podcast, right, Louis?
Yeah.
So, have a good Sunday.
I listened to your podcast this Sunday, Daddy.
I don't know if you could hear her son at the very end, but he said from the backseat of their car, I'm assuming. Yeah. He said, I listened to my podcast. Oh, I listened to your podcast with my mom. I thought that was so sweet.
Like, I think that is sweeter than any Apple Podcast review we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
But you should still do that.
You should still do that.
Yeah, still go do that. But if you guys ever feel like this podcast has helped you through a tough time or helped you through a long ride, you can DM us or you can leave us a voice message. Like that made my day.
Yeah, it's the sweetest.
Yeah.
It just makes it real that there are actually people listening, because sometimes it just feels like...
Oh, I know my mom's listening.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, my dad listens.
Wow, we're up to 2.
Our neighbor. She listens.
Okay, so that's our segue into our High-Low Buffalo.
Okay,
we should
you
do
go
it.
ahead.
Okay, so my high of the week, let's see. I think my high of the week is that sickness ramped down and that we actually get to go on this trip. Yeah. Because 7 days ago, I was like, Colin, look up all the cancellation policies, like see what we can get back. And I just was feeling like it was not going to happen, but I feel so excited. I don't even know that it's going to be much warmer than it is here because we've been having some like warmer days, but just being able to see the ocean, to be somewhere new. You know, we haven't done that since the beginning of December, so it's been a long stint home, basically. And so I'm just excited. And I told Colin at dinner, you know, I was like, I forget what it feels like to travel within America, because when we're traveling internationally, I have a lot more of that like nervous energy about what we're packing, what we're bringing, and just the journey, because it can be really long. But I don't have any of that right now, because I'm like, if we forget anything, we can get it. If anybody gets sick,
Just run over to
it's
CVS.
okay. Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of stoked just because I feel like, wow, I think this is going to be really fun. And we haven't done something like this in a minute. So that's my high.
What's your low?
Oh, gosh. Man, I don't know what my low is.
I guess the kids have been sick. And
Yeah, it kind of feels like I've just been home. Yeah, I'm ready to break out of these walls.
Yeah. You got a buffalo for us?
Yeah, my buffalo, again, I don't know if I'm ever doing this right. This is just what I want to say.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's exactly what a buffalo is.
Okay. My buffalo is sometimes I get in my head that I can't give my kids everything I wish I could. Meaning that like sometimes I just
Ooh, this is deep. This is deep.
Well, I guess. Sometimes I just think that like the perfect childhood means that we need to have a small house on a couple acres and our kids have this freedom that they can just run and be. And I'm not worried about their safety. Nobody's going to hit them with their car. Like it's just safe and they can like go and explore and be kids. And for some reason, that's like the standard in my mind of the most epic childhood is just the freedom that would come from that kind of environment. But then like today, I just, our kids were on the driveway. We live in like a little suburban neighborhood, we live in a cul-de-sac, so there are less cars, but we don't have acres. They don't have crazy freedom. Like we don't let them leave our yard, but they just made this epic fort out of a tarp.
We have like a 20 feet tarp.
Yeah. And they just figured it out. And, they made this little fort camp thing and they brought snacks in there and blankets.
Yeah. Instead of fort, I think the proper word is, it's inspired by Bluey.
Okay.
And it's from the episode Cubby. If you parents, you know what I'm talking about. It's from the latest like edition of episodes. But yeah, the first one was Cubby. So they've been like super stoked on building that everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what they built a cubby. Is
Yes.
that the proper term then?
Yes.
Okay, not a
now
fort.
Now you can keep going.
We don't call them forts in 2024 thanks to Bluey. But anyway, I think just like it was at least 3 hours that they were occupied by this cubby on our driveway. And it just inspired me because it was just this reminder of like, okay, like it can still happen here. Like the memories that they're making and the freedom that they have. Granted, we have some parameters on where their freedom can take place, but I just was like really encouraged that kids are just really good at creating fun and using their imagination, and they don't need all those things. Like I think sometimes we make it so much more complicated.
Yeah.
Or maybe just, I can speak for myself. I make it much more complicated, but they just need like time and space. And they need to be a little bit bored. And then that triggers the creativity and the imagination.
Yeah.
And then they have these little childhood memories that I want for them. They're just on a driveway instead of in like some magical
and
field.
I think the reality is like if you bring this up to any adult, they're going to say, oh, we did this as kids. We did that. But I don't think anyone would say, but everything was planned and premeditated by my parents. Like, we just kind of make do with what we have, and that was our childhood.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I think the whole farm thing wasn't like my kids are asking for that.
No.
In my mind, it was just the safest / most magical foundation.
But they're not asking for it.
They're not asking for it. And so I just need to let it go. I mean, and Zillow tells me I need to let it go because I can't afford that life.
Well, but Zillow says don't even come close. They said delete the app. Zillow says you're not ready.
Zillow says be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, drag this out of your home screen.
Okay, what about you? What's your high and your low and your buffalo?
I like that your buffalo, you went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just went guard down. I'm just chit-chatting with Oprah Winfrey right now. Yeah. Way to go.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm glad you felt the freedom to do that. This is such a safe space today.
Stop.
What is this? Usually before we go on a trip, we are not this calm.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's because we're staying within America. I'm telling you, my feelings are so just chill.
That makes me
chill.
happy and sad, because happy, like, yes, let's do this again. Sad, like, are we gonna avoid international trips now? I don't know. Let's not think about that.
No, they have their own pros and cons.
Okay. My happy is, I would say the same with you. Like, I am ready to get on a plane as a family. I'm ready to go to the Capital One Lounge tomorrow at the Denver airport. I'm excited for our long layover. My low is, yeah, it was kind of like a bummer to give our kids medicine every night, and some are better medicine takers, some are not. And so, and there were lots of long nights where I just felt like I was just tired all week. But we're here now.
We're here now.
And we're healthy enough.
Yeah, that
no
was
one's
your
coughing, no one has a fever.
Right.
No snot.
We're
good. My buffalo, which might be even more exciting than my high, honestly, but my favorite cartoon as a kid is a live action remake on Netflix right now. And the Avatar series is just bringing all kinds of feels. I am nostalgic, emotional, and I'm really sad that I'm about to watch the last two episodes tonight before we leave and avoid packing. And I'm probably going to have to wait another year until season 2 comes out. But to all you Avatar fans out there, this is a space where we can chat about it, okay?
So is Avatar like, I'm going to sound really ignorant.
I love that we're continuing on this. Keep going, please.
So is Avatar, like, this series that you're watching correlated to the movie?
No.
Okay.
Like the James Cameron movie with the blue people?
Yeah, in the Disney park.
Yeah, that is like nowhere near this Avatar. Do
they at all overlap? Like, why do they have the same name?
Just so happen to have the same name.
Weird.
But this is a show that originated in Nickelodeon that was a cartoon in the 2000s, and it has since become like this cult-like fandom behind it. And then Netflix just has like put millions of dollars in it, and it's the best thing.
I feel like they should have given it another name.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect the way it is.
No, yeah. Why would they do that?
James Cameron should have done something different.
Yeah.
With his blue people.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
How dare he?
How dare
he?
Yeah.
I'm also excited. The girls were asking us about this trip because they're trying to understand. And I think we shared it on here, but we're going to do a day at Disney. Mm-hmm. And I don't know much about Disneyland. I've never been. But there is this really epic picture that people take where it's like, I think it's in front of the park, and you see like the Ferris wheel, and the Ferris wheel has Mickey's face on it. That's like what I imagine this park to look like. That view is the only view that I've ever really noticed.
Where are you going with this?
That I was just excited to go.
We've done High-Low Buffalo. We're done.
Okay. Well, okay.
Let's move on.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, this is a travel podcast.
You're right.
They are here to get oozing travel information.
You're right.
Because they are wondering, how am I going to plan a summer trip? But I want an easy one. And that is the keyword today that I forgot to mention in the intro. I might have to redo it. But the whole thing about today is like, you know us. We love traveling, whether it's to the Arctic Circle or to Australia or to the Southeast Asian countries. Like, we love it all. But not everyone wants to do that. And we realize that.
Yeah.
And we are big road trip people. Some of you do not want to get in cars with your kids. Right?
Understandable.
Like, that is a nightmare to you. And so today's episode is all about, like, what is the most easy, like, it's just a plug and play that we can do this summer. And we're going to give you more options than just go to our beach, even though that is what we're going to talk about, one of them. But I want to start by just kind of listing all the types of trips. Okay, Megan?
Okay.
And I got 10 types of trips. I'm going to list them all. And out of that, we're going to choose 5 winners.
Okay.
And then from there, we just chit-chat on.
I'm good at the chit-chat.
Okay, number 1, we all know, when you think summer vacation, a beach trip. All right? And then you got your cruise vacation. We have never done a cruise as a family.
Nope.
But that is an option.
Yeah.
For a plug-and-play, easy summer trip. Amusement parks. We're doing Disney, but we're like the one-day kind of people. We're not like your 5-day park hopper yet, or like go to Universal and SeaWorld and this and that. But that is an option. Mm-hmm. We got national parks. We got road trips. And then I thought this was interesting. A lot of people actually go live, like they do farm stays. Have you heard of this?
I mean, I just talked about how the farm life is like this epic standard of motherhood. Okay. So, I mean, I get it. Okay. It's kind of like, I understand the
Okay, we'll see if it makes the list. We got water parks. That is a big summer thing. Mm-hmm. We've never done that before. Cultural activities. Now, this one, when I think about this, it's like you go to a different country and total immersion. Like that is like your summer educational trip. Maybe all you teachers out there, maybe this is what you want to do with your kids. A camping trip. And then last but not least, you explore a new city. So those are all the categories of trips that you could be taking besides just going to Disney or just going to the beach.
Yeah, maybe you could be inspired to break out of your shell a little bit. Pick a different category.
Right. But I will say, not all those trips are equal.
Well, in our opinion.
In our opinion. Sure. In our humble opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and if today's category is about ease of travel, which ones are staying and which ones are we nicking?
Okay, well, let's do it one by one. So I'm going to pick a stayer and a nicker. Okay.
I'm going to nick my first one.
Yeah.
As soon as I read it, I'm like, I'm not even going to chat about this.
Okay.
We're nicking the farm.
Okay.
Like when I think ease of planning, like I don't want to smell manure.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to pet the cow, take a selfie.
I don't know if it's
drive past the farm.
I don't know if it's ease of planning or just like you being interested in the activity.
Yeah, like I don't want to feed chickens in the morning.
Yeah, it's not your vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing that I'm ticking off, I avoid them. And I make our family avoid them, which, much to my children's dismay, are water parks.
They've never been to one, Megan.
Is that true?
Yeah. They beg for you.
You can take them sometime. I think I overthink. I'm just going to say it, everyone. I overthink wild hairs of other humans being in the water with me. I overthink the amount of urine that might be in a public pool with
skin cells.
That many children in one place. It's those things that kind of make me go, I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were in Bali and I wanted to go to the number one largest water park in Asia. Megan had zero interest.
Yeah.
Zero.
I think I also might have been scarred when I was a kid. My dad was in the army and we lived in Germany for a while. And I don't know if this is like still appropriate. I'm just giving my experience from like 30 years ago.
Did you see a lot of old people undressed?
No, but it was just really common at all water parks that when you were going down a public slide, as soon as you got to the top and it was your turn to go, the person in front of you would just give themselves a wedgie. And because if you had double cheeks hitting the slide, you'd go faster all the way down.
That is a Bavarian thing.
Really? I don't know. And so then that plays into it too. I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't like water parks.
Well, great.
Double cheeks, hair,
out,
pee,
skin cells,
too much. Okay,
chlorine.
So you nick something.
Okay, farm stay out, water park out. I think cultural activity, to me, that's like intermediate trip. That's not. It's for another podcast.
Yeah, has a purpose.
I love them.
Me
I'm
too.
all about them. Like we even took a month-long trip centered around that. We went to Hong Kong, we went to Bali and Malaysia just to like ramp up the culture in our kids and ramp up them learning the roots and learning the food that I ate. We even went to visit family members that have passed on. So just to let them know like their ancestry.
But it's not, we're talking about easy.
We're talking about easy.
That's not easy.
No, nicking out. Your
Okay,
turn.
the next thing we're nicking is a camping trip. Again,
Which hurts me.
Love them in the right season of your family, the right time of year. But again, they're not necessarily easy. They require a lot of planning and prep, especially when you're doing it with kids.
Yeah.
You can't just like spontaneously go camping for a long weekend.
No.
There's a lot of planning.
We're not in college anymore.
We're not in college.
One time in college, I went camping. It was in the late fall. I thought I was going to be fine wearing a hoodie and sleeping in a hammock. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, that's cold.
But you know what? Like, It was a fun memory.
It was fun memory.
But things you just don't do with kids.
You were also an adult. Yeah, I was like, we don't risk that kind of stuff.
I was just inexperienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. We're taking off exploring a new city.
Oh man, if you listen to this podcast, you know that we hate cities.
Yeah, I love them. But like when I imagine going to New York City with my kid, I see that as a lot of planning is happening.
Yeah.
Where we're staying, what part of the city are we staying in? How are we getting around? What kind of things do we need to get around? Where are we eating? Like your whole day just needs to be like structured.
You kind of need like an itinerary.
Again, not a bad trip option.
A lot of y'all are like, I'm gonna go to the city.
And it might be easy for you.
Yeah.
But it's just not, it requires a lot of effort on my part. So it's not on the list because it wouldn't, to me, be described as easy.
Okay.
All right.
Folks.
So let's actually talk about the trips that we think that you should plan.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, we already knew what we were going to go with.
Yeah.
We just wanted to let y'all know why we nicked them.
Yeah.
Okay. So this.
And maybe you're listening and you're like, they're wrong. Cities are so easy.
They're wrong. We love farm stays.
Yeah, sure. Great. I mean, the whole goal is to just bring up these categories so that maybe if you're feeling a little bit stumped about what you want to do on your next trip, or maybe your budget is making you kind of shift to a new gear, like maybe an amusement park or a cruise isn't in the budget. So you're like, well, what else do we do? These are just like a conversation to get your mind ticking a little bit.
Okay. All right. So the winners of the categories are beaches, cruise vacations, amusement parks, national parks, and last but not least, road trips. Megan, kick us off with a beach vacation. Like, I think everyone already agrees on this one, that it's just easy, but let's just hit it really quick and remind folks why a beach vacation might be for them this year.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, one, there's a million beaches to choose from. You can go to ones that are popular, ones that are in small towns. Like, I just think that if you put a kid on a beach, granted, they have to be past that newborn phase when they're like eating the sand. Mm-hmm. But in my experience, kids on beaches are happy and occupied. And sand is just the most epic toy that can keep them occupied for hours and hours. So my dream of an ultimate vacation where we're not doing the road trip thing, we're not exploring a new place, but we're actually resting as a family is on a beach. Because I just feel like we are all the best versions of ourselves. I imagine you renting a beach house that's within a short drive or walking distance of the sand. You're buying groceries, you're eating at home, you're packing like ham and cheese lunches, like sandwiches to bring with you on the beach.
Like the bar is so low.
The bar is so low. You just get to where you're going.
Yeah.
And then you go to the grocery store. You pack some bathing suits and sunscreen. And yeah, I know that you can like be on the beach, but be bougie on the beach. Like there's all the things that you may need, umbrellas and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But you honestly don't need much.
No.
Like think about like sometimes when we're going to the beach, we bring everything. And then sometimes
by day 4, we're done.
We're like bare minimum people.
Yeah.
And I almost love it more because it's just kind of like...
It forces you to just
chill out.
Just chill out.
Yeah, just enjoy the beach.
Yeah.
Where sometimes, you go in the morning and you have that hot sun. But I honestly love going at like 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because the sun stays out late and then it's not hot.
love that.
It's the best.
I love a beach like late afternoon.
Yeah.
Tide pools.
So great.
Now, I will say, like, love the Atlantic coast-ish, but I love the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
I also want to say that if you want to kick it up a notch this year, you could even go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Or Puerto Rico. And I also want to just tell folks that there is no shame. You can go somewhere exotic and only stay at your resort, and that's fine.
Oh, that's fine. Or you could go to...
Like, I used to be the guy that's like, if we're going to the Caribbean, like, we're going, like, we're renting a car, and we might stay at the beach 1 day or 2 days and then do other stuff.
Get picked up from the airport, take your little shuttle directly to the resort, and just chill.
I think I've just chilled out, like, and I'm okay, like, it can be all kinds of ways.
Yeah, I mean,
is what I'm trying to say.
We're dreaming. We haven't made plans for spring break, which is literally in a month. And we're dreaming about going to 1 or 2 beaches that are within a 5-hour drive of us.
Yeah.
And that sounds so fun to me because I just want to get there and I want to sit on the beach for a few days.
You know what sounds fun to me?
What?
I've actually been like giggling in my head the past couple of days that we should like do some silly challenge where the whole trip costs under $800, which is not gonna happen. Maybe like 12. I don't know, but like let's just go all out budget and be as cheap as we can be.
Yeah. Well, barring like staying somewhere dirty. That's my only thing.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we'll be reasonable about it. Yeah. There might be a cockroach. Like, I can kill it.
No.
I can take care of it, Megan. We can bring bug spray.
I will leave.
But like,
no.
But let's see how low we can go.
Okay, I like it.
You like it?
I could be down.
Okay, in effort to save our funds so that in the summer we do like an epic one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Number 2, we're going cruises. And granted, this is a little asterisk here. We have been on a cruise as a couple. We've never been as a family. But
we've only heard good things.
We've only heard good things. And a big goal of mine, I think that it would be so fun to take the kids on a Disney cruise. I really feel like...
That's my next question. You're jumping the gun.
Well, sorry. I just feel like that experience, maybe if you're a family that you want to give your kids that Disney experience, but you don't really love the hustle and bustle of a theme park, which to be fair, I don't love that, which is why we're 1-day Disney people. We're not 5-day Disney people.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like we've got that like stamina.
I mean, I think I might be a 2-day Disney person.
But I feel like a cruise, especially for the ages of our kids, I've just heard only wonderful things about a Disney cruise. So that's something that I am honestly watching. They do occasional sales apparently. Okay. So I'm just kind of keeping tabs on that because I think that's something that I would love to do in the next year or two.
Okay. But yeah, the reason why this category is a winner because again, it's like plug and play. You choose your cruise, you get on the boat, that's it.
And you vacay.
And the boat takes care of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to think about food. You don't have to think about much of anything other than just packing clothes and a bathing suit and showing up for vacation. I think that's epic.
Yeah. And so you answered the question of going to a Disney cruise. I actually have not thought about my answer, but I think I would lean Disney cruise or like I think for our first foray, I just kind of want to do a 2-3 night cruise and just see how we vibe with the whole cruise thing before we like go all in. Well, I also get really nauseous. Yeah. So I'm just like, I love it, but I'm like wary of it.
Okay, but the little asterisk, the Disney cruise that I was talking about, it
comes with no waves, no nausea.
There are waves because it's the ocean. But I'm not pricing out a 7-day cruise. Like we could afford a 3 to 4 day cruise. So when you were saying you just want to do a short cruise before we jump in. Yeah. That's all I'm only looking at short cruises.
Okay, well, I was thinking like Royal Caribbean, like
7
something.
Days.
Yeah, a low hanging fruit just to like try it out. Or maybe we should just spoil ourselves. But I will say, speaking of nausea, I'm really proud of myself. This week I scheduled a teledoc. If y'all have teledoc, like do it. And I was like...
It's basically a doctor that you don't have to leave your house.
Megan, I think we know what a teledoc is. Okay, don't speak to our audience like that. They are smart people. Okay. But yeah, I made an appointment. It was like a 2-minute phone call. I wanted the patches that you put behind your ears.
For nausea.
Yes, because like I want to be able to provide fun for our kids and not be sick on all these rides.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was funny because you rarely do this, but you like cracked open Facebook for the first time in forever.
I know.
And you polled the Facebook people what you should do for your nausea at a theme park.
Everyone thinks they're a comedian these days, don't they?
And everyone told you, just don't go.
Like, our friend...
If you want to avoid Facebook. If you want to avoid nausea, just don't go.
Yeah, our friend Hannah just like screenshotted my question and like blocked out all the words and left out avoid theme parks. Yeah. Because my question was like, how do I avoid nausea at theme parks? Yeah. And everyone's like, avoid theme parks. Yeah. Well, I'm going, guys.
And he's going to try these stickers. All right, number 3, speaking of theme parks, we're talking about amusement parks. Why did we because we were talking about Disney cruise.
Yeah.
I'm doing that again. Okay, number 3, talking about Disney. Number 3 on the list is amusement parks, which this doesn't just include Disney.
No.
This includes Dollywood or Legoland or
Universal.
SeaWorld.
Yeah. Knott's Berry Farm.
Knoxbury Farm.
It's a real place.
Really?
Yeah, it's a huge theme park.
Okay, so these are for your people that have the stamina, that this is your dream of the most epic vacation you can take. Why would you consider it easy, Colin?
Because, again, it's plug and play.
Kind of.
Like-
I feel like Disney, out of all of those, is kind of like...
Yeah, but the reason I say that is because, yes, you still have to think about a lot of things, but, I mean, you're an adult figuring out what ride to go to. You're not an adult thinking, how do I get there? Do I speak the language? Do I need health insurance? Do I need a passport? Like,
True.
all the travel things are out. Like, you're just
biggest concern of the day is what ride to go on and when.
where do we eat?
Yeah.
You know, and like, can I bring a stroller? Where can I charge my phone?
Yeah.
Like, it's still just like trivial things
True.
that like, let's not get stressed out about.
Yeah.
And so, which is why I picked this. Like, so you can pick a theme park or 2 or 3. A buddy of mine just went to Orlando and they did Disney and then 2 nights in Universal because they're also Harry Potter fans.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do that. So you could be theme park people. You could stay near the theme park and everything revolves around that. And you don't have to worry about where do we find food. You know, there's food everywhere. There's fun everywhere. And it just takes the pressure off of you.
Yeah. And our resident Disney planner on Instagram, he's at Hey Disney Dad, right?
I think so.
Should we check that? Hey. Yep, Hey Disney Dad. Okay. Put your phone away.
Okay.
Okay, and our resident Disney planner on Instagram, he's at Hey Disney Dad. Colin was just messaging him about our
AKA
day.
my college roommate, Justin.
Yeah. But Colin was just messaging him because our day in California, like anyway, there are all these things to get the meal reservations and
Yeah. I
there's
had Disney anxiety.
yeah, Colin was feeling the anxiety. And so he was telling Justin, like, man, I feel like I didn't do this and I should have done this and what should we do? And he gave you really good advice. What did he say?
I mean, this is the guy that like knows everything about Disney and knows how to plan everything. And he just said, dude, even if you don't get on all the thrill rides and don't get all the fluff, you can still have the most magical day. Just chill out, enjoy the environment, catch the parade, eat all day long, and just have fun. He was like, screw the internet. Like, you don't have to do everything the internet tells you to do and do all the things that you see on social media. And immediately, like, this wave of relief was like, you're right. Like, I'm going to Disney. Like, I just want to be a kid.
Yeah.
And like, yes, but I'm still gonna, make sure we get the Genie Plus to get to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. But other than that,
I just feel like it made, like, talking about things that are easy, vacations that are easy, I feel like that perspective just brought this back to like an easy trip for you and your family. Like, you can make it all the meticulous things and read all the blogs and get stressed out.
Yeah.
Or you can just know that if you show up to Disney or Legoland or Dollywood and you just have fun and you're present with your kids, you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Like, if we had matching shirts, I imagine mine would have like the Mickey ears, and then it says in the Disney font, of course, it'll say, just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
And so, parents, you can pick any theme park you want to. I want to talk some exciting things, though, that are happening in the theme park world for 24 and 25. I just want to hit it real quick.
Okay, let's do it fast.
There's going to be a Little Mermaid musical happening this year.
Okay.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure, of course, it's coming. Mm-hmm. And they actually announced that it won't be late summer, fall. It's going to be like May.
Wow.
Yeah, which is huge. There's going to be a Peppa Pig theme park
I just
in
heard
Texas.
about this. Yeah.
Maybe like for the little ones. I thought maybe Liv would like that.
Right.
If we ever are in Texas. There's going to be a Mattel, like, so that they do like Hot Wheels and all that. But there's going to be a Barbie Dream House. This is going to be in like Arizona. But I think the one that everyone's excited about, and I'm excited about, is the Universal Epic Universe. And it's, do I even have to go into this? But go to Universal Studios. They'll have Super Nintendo World. There's going to be a Yoshi ride, a Donkey Kong roller coaster. There's going to be like Harry Potter will have its own moment. And then How to Train Your Dragon, which I actually love all those movies. That's going to have its own moment. And I might be missing a few things. But I think that's really fun.
Yeah, that is
And when I
fun.
look at the list, like everyone is adding the Mario element. They've already added that in Japan. Singapore is adding it to theirs. So it's just a fun. If you're a theme park people, hey, go do that.
Go do that. All right, number 4 on the list is national parks. And we're saying that national parks would be a great, easy vacation because, well, some more than others, but I feel like it's one of those things where you make your reservations and then all of your activities are just being outside together.
Yeah.
And unless you do like a guided tour, all of those activities, once you get in the park, are free.
Yeah.
And I just think that that is such a fun thing to do. Some of the places that come to mind for me, if you have kids that maybe like aren't teenagers yet, but they're still kids or toddlers, I think that Zion is like a beautiful place to take your kids.
Yeah.
I think Yosemite is a really fun place to take your kids
Yeah.
because they're parks that have like, they feel a little bit, what is the word?
They're not too big.
They're not too spread out.
Not
so
a
it
lot
feels
of
like,
driving.
yeah, and you get epic views with just a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like, wow, you can really see some of the most epic views without having to hike 10 miles.
Well, Megan, actually, to better serve our listeners, I actually came up with a few combo packages for them.
Okay, tell them.
I actually came up with 3.
Okay.
And I like to call these my national park combos.
Okay.
And so in combo 1, you actually get, like what you said, your Zion, but I'm calling this the Utah-Arizona combo. You can hit Bryce, you can hit Arches, you can hit Zion, the Grand Canyon, and then in between that, the drives are just epic. You can do Horseshoe Bend, Antelope Canyon, and so there's the Utah-Arizona thing going on.
So many beautiful places.
We did that. We flew into Salt Lake City and just kind of like rounded it out.
Yeah.
Combo number 2, you could do a Washington State combo. You can, Olympic National Park has all kinds of flavors. There's the rainforest and then there's the coast, you know, and then you can hit up Cascades. You can go to Mount Rainier, stay at the lodge there. And so that's like your Washington combo.
Yeah.
Maybe throw in a little ferry ride, maybe see a little pot of orcas.
Or
Who
like
knows?
hang out in Seattle for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all the things. Eat some oysters. And then my last combo is your classic California combo,
This might be my fave.
where you could fly into SFO or you can fly into Reno. You might even throw in Lake Tahoe in there, but you're going to go to Yosemite. You're going to go to Sequoia. And then if you're feeling like, ooh, and this is a good segue to our next category too, but maybe you're like, I want to see some mountains and I want to see some coast. You could drive to Big Sur, hit up Monterey, go to the aquarium, and maybe even camp out there.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are my 3 combos that you can kind of imagine. And the reason I picked those is because they're all kind of in clusters. You're not driving like hours on end. Like I didn't have any ones on the East Coast because you can't do a Great Smoky Mountains and Everglades together.
No, yeah, it's too far apart.
You know?
And I also think that the national parks make the list because kind of correlating back to being on a beach, for me, when my kids are outside, like when we're not, I don't know, when we're outside together, it's just better.
Right.
And so when I imagine like exploring Yosemite or Zion with my kids, it's like you find a place to stay, you show up in the morning, you go to the park, you decide like, are we going to do a little hike, or are we just going to drive around, or are we just going to get out when we see something pretty?
Yeah.
All of those things are possible. But then I feel like when my kids are outside and they're playing with sticks and rocks and we're just exploring, I feel like time slows down.
Yeah.
I feel like in our house, we call it like kind of like a stoplight, red light, yellow light, green light. And I feel like it's hard to be at red light, to be super stressed.
Well, unless you're hangry.
Unless you're hangry.
Which I have been in many national parks.
Okay, but make sure to bring your snacks. But just in general, I feel like it's just easy to hang at green light because everybody's just more relaxed.
Yeah.
You're not like in a confined space where you're, I don't know. Being in nature is just a win. And so for me, a lot of people think about national parks. You think about a place like Yellowstone and you think, man, I don't know if my kids will really appreciate that until they're older. And so we're just going to save those trips for later.
Yeah.
And I would say that I disagree because I think that just being outside, you'll have like such a family win
Yeah.
Like, I just think it'll be a win for your family. And sure, take them back when they're 15 or whatever. But yeah, I think that national parks are just like a family win.
Yeah. And
everybody's going to be happy.
And along the same lines of our previous category, it's like you don't have to do the most epic things.
No.
Like when I think of like my times that I feel so at peace and so fun, it's like when I see like a wild chipmunk, or we were just like, me and my friends were just like running around the meadows at Yosemite and we saw like wild trout in the water.
Yeah.
Like, or seeing elk in the distance or a bighorn sheep. Like there's just something like it does to your brain where you're like, oh my gosh, like I am part of this bigger picture.
Yeah, and I mean, we've done some big hikes without kids in national parks, but like when we went to Yosemite, just you and I, we didn't do any big hikes. We like went ice skating, we walked to a waterfall, we walked in like a random field just because there was a sunrise and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And like we still left that park being like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that you can get, we're saying the same thing 5 times. Just go to a national park. You're going to love it.
All right, let's round this out because I
Okay.
kind of alluded to it, but road trips.
Right.
And I did the same thing for our listeners. I kind of gave them like 3 combos, but you can do anything. You can go to your grandma's house and that might be fun for you.
I'm cheating and I'm looking at the list, and number 3 is what I want to do.
Yeah, we
So,
talked
like-
about it last night.
So, like, if you want to do number 3, can we go together? Because these Airbnbs are, like, real expensive. And so I just need to be able to do this and afford it. But moving on.
Okay, so I already alluded to this. You could do a Pacific Coast Highway. So that is the star of the show, the road, and you're just going to get on it. And whatever happens on the road, that's what the trip is about. And you're going to just laugh about it and tell stories on years to come. So Pacific Coast Highway is start in San Francisco, do Monterey, and maybe even go all the way down to Santa Barbara. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you can just circle back up and spend time in San Francisco. That's cool too.
Yeah.
Go check out, the Muir Woods or whatever.
Or eat in a little restaurant on the side of a mountain and see Jake Gyllenhaal.
True story. It's happened before.
Yeah.
And you followed him to the bathroom.
Yep. And had I known at the time what he did to Taylor.
Wow.
Wow.
And also it happened on our first anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right,
cool.
moving on. Okay. Second one is the Oregon Coast Highway. Again, I've already mentioned this, but again, just beautiful coast, rugged, Haystack Rock, Cannon Beach, see some seals, all that
And
stuff.
the Pacific Northwest is just a vibe. Like, I feel like they're just like, they're trees. Like, everything just feels vibey.
I might want to do that more than what you want to do, which is
No.
next.
Yeah, I know. But no.
But
Sorry.
no? Why?
But no, because
Why?
because
You already said it was expensive.
it's my turn. I get to pick.
Since when?
I
We don't
know.
take turns.
I'm not sure. Anyway, but I wouldn't be sad. I do think that going to Oregon would be really cool.
Yeah.
But everything's a vibe, and I also like that it's such a vibe that, like, even if it rains, you just
It's a
carry
vibe.
on with life.
It's a vibe.
Like, it's kind of just what you expect when you go there. And so it's not going to ruin your trip. Like, if you're planning a beach vacation and it rains the whole time, you're bummed. If you're going to Oregon and it rains every day, you're like, yeah, bring a rain jacket.
Like, we're going to Palm Springs and Joshua Tree, and if it rains, I will be bummed.
Yeah, because they boast that they get like 350 days of sunshine.
Yeah.
So if we go there for a week and we get 7 of their 15 days of rain,
Yeah.
that would be a bummer.
I'm going to check the weather app after we hit
All
pause.
right, and
Okay.
our last road trip would be the New England
Coastal Scenic Byway, Megan.
Scenic
Read.
Byway. My eyes went crossed for a second. But that's driving from Maine to Connecticut. Or
Yeah.
in my dream scenario, we're just hanging out in Maine.
Okay. Hot
Yeah.
Maine summer.
Hot Maine summer.
Yeah.
What does the hot part correlate to? Like us or just like Maine's hot?
It was like a play on hot girl summer.
Oh, I
hot
see.
Maine summer.
Hot Maine summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm just craving. My parents are both from New England, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. We'd go to Massachusetts all the time growing up, and it's just a different beach vibe because it's warm there, but like the water's colder. And then the weather is sometimes like you still need like a long sleeve shirt at night. Like it's just a little bit different.
Like pack a hoodie.
Pack a hoodie. Because at night when the sun goes down,
favorite.
It's going to be hot in the afternoon. But then by the end of the day, you're going to need a hoodie. But then there's just the seafood and the small towns and like everything that New England cottage vibe with the houses. Everything's colorful.
It's like the vibe is called coastal hygge.
Yeah, it really is. It honestly, I just hit the mic. I'm so excited. It really is. And so I think I'm craving that.
And you can eat all the seafood you want. I think shrimp and lobster taste like rubber.
Yeah, but I'll eat it enough for both of us.
Great.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
To go.
Prices are astronomical.
Yeah, and then I found
Yeah.
Last night, this is how desperate I am to figure this out, but I found this cabin at a campground that you can rent, and I looked at the price, and it's available the whole time that we want to go, and it's $99 a night, which is unheard of compared to all these other prices that I'm looking at. And so I got excited.
You shared the link.
I shared the link to Colin because I'm like, I found it. You know, I don't need an expensive place. I just need a simple / clean place. Well, come to find out, you have to bring like all of your linens, all of your pillows, and they have a kitchen, but they don't provide pots and pans. So then I start doing the math on like, well, if I Amazon ordered sheets and pillows and blankets and a pan for eggs, well, we might as well just stay at one of the bougier places. So anyway, we're still figuring that out. If you have any tips or an aunt and uncle that live in Bar Harbor, Maine that aren't going to be there this summer, let us know.
Maybe even before Memorial Day, right when the kids get out of school, let us know.
Let us know. Okay, so that rounds out our list.
Man.
That's it. Those are some ideas, some fun things that you can be pondering on for planning this summer. I think for us, the things that stick out, I know we're going to go to a beach.
Yep.
I feel like we're gonna do
I want to go to Oregon.
Yeah, we're gonna do some kind of road trip.
But again, it's just plug and play. And you know what, Megan? In conclusion, I think what the common thread through all this is the spotlight is on it's off of you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the pressure to find the restaurant, to book the Airbnb. Like efficiency is out the window.
Yeah.
And productivity is out the window. And that is the whole point. And what I see in all of this is like, it works for you.
Yeah. It's like a relaxed vacation. You know, some of them require a little bit more planning, but nothing like some of the other things we mentioned that we canceled out.
Right. Like camping.
Like camping. Lots of planning.
Could be your thing.
Anyway.
Who knows?
This makes me excited for summer. The sunshine makes me excited for summer. Hearing where you guys are traveling makes me excited for summer. So if you have an epic trip planned, please let us know, especially if you're going somewhere, that is new to you. I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we've got for today. We got to pack.
We got to go pack. We'll see you in the next episode somewhere from California.
That's right.
Parents, do not forget to pack snacks, leave those Apple Podcast reviews, and send us a voicemail. We love it.
We love it.
Bye.
See you next week.